Good morning everyone, this is Kulime Absalan and I am from BSed English 3A together with my co-discussant, and today we will be discussing the topic about popular literature. Before proceeding to the main discussion, let us first read the learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to first, second, and third. So I presume that all of you have read what are the lesson's objectives for today. Now, the first issues in popular literature is the postmodernism era, because it challenges traditional literary convention and embraces a more fragmented, self-reflexive, and often cynical approach to storytelling. This shift in literary style has sparked debate and controversy, making it a significant topic of discussion within the realm of popular literature. Postmodernism also influence extends beyond literature, permeating various aspects of popular culture. The rise of media events, the blurring of the lines between reality and simulation, and the prevalence of pastiche and parody in films, television, and music are all reflections of modern sensibilities. However, postmodernism's impact on popular culture is not without its critics. Some argue that the embrace of fragmentation, cynicism, and a lack of clear meaning undermines the potential of art to offer hope, inspiration, and a sense of postmodernism's focus on irony and self-reflexivity. This can lead to a detachment from reality and lack of engagement with important societal issues. We have highlighted some key aspects of these challenges, and the first one is the fragmentation and the lack of coherence. So this is somewhat deals about the meaning or the clear passage of the message that is being imaged or being reflected by a particular piece of literature. Next one is the questioning meaning and truth, because sometimes modernism can cost us or can give us an idea on questioning the truth about something or about a particular matter that we have already known from the past, depending to the past or depending to the old content of a particular literature that was written in the traditional style. And the next one is the self-reflexivity and the metafiction. Post-modern works often engage in self-reflexivity. So this talks about how creative the mind of an author is, and the usage of words and how they draw attentions from the readers, and how they construct the sentences and conveys its meaning, because it sometimes leads to a misunderstanding or a deep internalization for you to understand what it really conveys from the start until the beginning of a piece. And the last one is the cultural and contextual disconnect, because sometimes postmodernism literatures or pieces are very far from which it already where it was originated. This frequently reflects on cultural and societal issues, but the abstract or the construction of the sentences as well as the pattern or the flow of the message is somewhat contradicts to what the truth is from one piece to another. The references is quite broadened and is not easy to understand by the readers. That is why sometimes it might cause, or it really cause, misunderstanding and misinterpretation. The next issues or challenges of popular literature is the mass media. Now, why is mass media is being considered as one of the issues? Because it simply stands as a competition of a popular literature. Because nowadays, or in during the era of the 21st century learners, watching televisions or dramas are more easy to get with than reading a particular literature piece. We somehow relates to something or particular topic that is being presented through an artistic way, such as dramas, either fiction or non-fiction, or even in just simply video ads or video presentation that was being constructed by a creative and imaginative creator or author. That is why popular literature is being threatened or is being sometimes neglected because mass media is more famous and rampant, especially in the generation of the 21st century learners. Now, on the next slide also we have highlighted some key aspects of these challenges. And the first one is the competition for attention. As what I've said earlier, that was already the explanation, and I think that was already understandable. And the next one is the oversimplification and context stripping. This talks about the more creative and more complex way of conveying the message, more sometimes unrelatable na siya kay dili tanan into that kind or into that style of conveying a message or relaying a message. That is why oversimplification and context stripping is really one of the major aspects that is being considered why this issue about popular literature existed. And next is the evolving publishing landscape and the ethical considerations. So these aspects are or can be understood if you are into publication career or publication industry, because sometimes mass media really conveys or really possess characteristics that might ruin values or that might affect values of some other important matters that we need to consider, especially who are into a world where diversity is very clear that if it really exists. And as someone who knows why literatures exist, aside from it entertains us, it also conveys a message that might reflect or that might be simply a representation of a particular culture, beliefs, and tradition of a specific community where we live in. So after this part, the next discussion, we're going to explain more about the topic of issues and challenges about popular literature.
Lots of books are bad. They just are. Sadly, it's usually the brain candy that because it's so sweet and that's fine, but it won't satisfy. Bad works of literature negatively affect the works that have lasting merit. People who had a bad experience reading rarely try again to enjoy it. So some books that are easy and fun to read or brain candy tend to sell well because they're enjoyable like sweet treats. But while they're fine, they don't offer lasting satisfaction. Unfortunately, poor quality books can harm people's appreciation for good literature. If someone has a bad experience reading a book, they might be less likely to try reading again and miss out on the truly valuable works. So, when it comes to books, the ones that are fun and easy to read often become popular because they are enjoyable at the moment, like candy, but just like candy, don't offer much substance. These kinds of book can be entertaining, but they don't leave a lasting impact or provide a deep satisfaction. So, the problem with the bad books is that they can harm the reputation of literature as a whole. If someone reads a poorly written book and has a bad experience, they might think all books are like that and avoid reading in the future. So, this can make it harder for truly great books, the ones with lasting value, to reach people. So here are the some key aspects of this challenge. First is the reader expectation. Many readers today prioritize entertainment and accessibility over literary quality. This trend is similar to the popularity of reality TV, where audiences often seek content that is easy to digest and engaging, rather than challenging or thought-provoking. So today, many readers prefer books that are fun and easy to read instead of those with deep or complex ideas. This is like how reality TV is popular because it's entertaining and simple to watch. People often choose content that is easy to enjoy rather than something that might make them think hard or challenge their views. Second is the market pressure. The publishing industry often favors books that promise high sales potential, which can lead to the publication of mediocre works. Publisher may prioritize marketability over literary merit, resulting in a flood of books that do not meet high standards of writing. So in the publishing industry, companies often choose to publish books that they think will sell well, even if the writing isn't great. This focus on making money can lead to a lot of average or poorly written books being published. As a result, many books that come out may not be the high quality because publishers care more about what will sell easily than about good writing. Third is the impact of reading habits. The existence of many bad books can discourage readers from exploring literature further. If a reader has a negative experience with a poorly written book, they may be less inclined to pick up another book, particularly if they are seeking a meaningful or reaching experiences. When there are a lot of bad books out there, it can make people less interested in reading more. If someone reads a poor written book and doesn't enjoy it, they might not want to try reading again, especially if they were hoping to find something meaningful or enriching. This can stop them from exploring other books that might be much better. So lastly is the cultural shift. In today's fast-paced world, literature competes with the various forms of entertainment such as movies, TV shows, and video games, which often provide quicker gratification. This shift in cultural consumption habits can lead to a preference for a lighter, less demanding reads, further contributing to the popularity of literature. So in today busy world, people have many ways to be entertained, like movies, TV shows, or video games, which give quick and easy enjoyment. Because of this, people might choose lighter and easier book to read. This can make less well-written books more popular because they fit better with the fast and simple entertainment that people used to.
Another issue and challenge of popular literature is the rise of other academic subjects. The expansion of education in the 20th century, which introduced a broader variety of academic disciplines, posed a challenge to traditional popular literature. With more people gaining access to subjects like science, mathematics, and philosophy, the audience's intellectual interest shifted beyond purely literary themes. Readers began seeking content that explored complex interdisciplinary ideas, which risked making traditional literature feel outdated or less relevant. Popular literature feel outdated and less relevant. That's why they had to evolve to incorporate these emerging scientific and philosophical ideas or risk becoming obsolete in a society increasingly driven by knowledge and innovation from multiple fields. This shift forced literature to compete with and sometimes merge with to the appeal of scientific and academic discourse. Another challenge that posed threat to popular literature is that the rapid advancement in science and technology not only brought scientific topics like evolution and space exploration into the public eye but also deeply affected and challenged it. As society grappled with the ethical implications of technological progress, literature began to reflect these new realities. Traditional narratives were often reshaped to explore the human response to rapidly changing world, blending science fiction with philosophical inquiry. Authors addressed the tension between progress and morality, and literature became a space to question the consequences of unchecked technological growth, pushing readers to think critically about the future.
Here's the fifth issue and challenges in popular literature. The fifth one is no automatic connection to a job after college. Why this become an issue or challenges in literature? The misconception that literature majors don't have direct job paths is widespread. Some believe that literature is solely for entertainment, but this is a narrow view. Literature teaches diverse knowledge, including history, science, and etc. While a literature degree might not lead to a specific career path like engineering or medicine, this is true for many majors. Many careers don't guarantee immediate job placement. This is why people often ask, what are you going to do with that major? They overlook how literature shapes an individual's knowledge and growth. Literature equips students with valuable skills that are highly transferable to a wide range of professions. Although a literature degree might not guarantee a specific job, but it provides a strong foundation for a successful career. With the right approach, graduates can leverage their skills to pursue a variety of fulfilling and rewarding opportunities. Here are some key aspects of these challenges. First, we have mismatch between education and job market. Many graduates find that their college education does not directly translate into job opportunities. Where the situation is, the skills and knowledge acquired through formal education often don't align perfectly with the requirements of available jobs, while a degree is often seen as a prerequisite for employment. Many jobs postings still require experience, even for entry-level position. This can lead to graduates feeling underqualified or unable to find suitable employment. Second is college as a time for exploration and personal growth. College is primarily a time for exploration and personal growth, rather than direct job training. Emphasizes the broader educational goals beyond vocational preparation. It suggests that college should be a period for students to discover their interest and passion, develop critical thinking and problem solving skills, cultivate communication and interpersonal skills, gain cultural awareness and global perspective, and develop a sense of self. With this approach can equip students with the tools that needed not to succeed in their careers and contribute positively in society, rather than solely focusing on immediate job placement. Thirdly, the impact of early job choices. The first job a graduates take can significantly influence their career trajectory. If we say career trajectory is the overall path of or progression of a person's career over time. It includes factors like job title, responsibilities, salary, and industry. Graduates who end up in roles unrelated to their field of study may find it challenging into their desired career path. First job can set the stage for future career opportunities and can have a lasting impact on person's professional development. And lastly, we have networking and connection. Graduates often lack the professional networks that can facilitate job opportunities. That's a very valid point, diba? Because graduates from lower income backgrounds often face additional challenges in the job market due to limited professional network. Those from lower income backgrounds may have fewer connection in the job market, making it harder to find openings or get referrals.
Now let's proceed to the sixth challenge phase of popular literature, inaccessibility. This talks about the significant and ongoing debate about the nature of literary merit, specifically questioning whether a work of literature can be considered good if it is exceptionally brilliant yet remains largely incomprehensible to most readers. Now let's talk about the key aspects why inaccessibility is considered a challenge phase of popular literature. First is the language jargon. Of course, when the writer uses unfamiliar words or phrases, these might confuse the readers who basically don't understand that word. It may be familiar to the writers but can be completely alien for those outside of it. For example, a teacher uses a highfalutin word without explaining it to her students. This can lead to misunderstanding as the students may struggle to grasp the intended message. It is really crucial for the writers to consider the audience and strive for clarity to ensure that the messages are accessible and engaging at all. Let's proceed to the second key aspect, which is the availability. Yes, it is really important that a certain book or story is available in every platform or places. It can really hinder when it is not widely available or restricted to a specific format such as hardcover books. For example, when the book is not widely published or distributed, it becomes difficult for individuals to find and access these works. Third is the cultural context. Literature often reflects the norms, values, and beliefs of the culture in which it was created. For instance, marriage customs can vary significantly across cultures. Of course, a reader from a Western background might find the arranged marriage depicted in the literature from the cultures like Nigeria or India to be strange or even wrong, as their understanding of marriage is shaped by different cultural teachings. These disconnects can lead to misunderstandings of character motivations and plot developments. And lastly, cost. Of course, when literature, including books, academic texts, and other written materials, is priced beyond the reach of many, it effectively excludes a portion of the population from accessing valuable information and cultural content. This is particularly evident in educational contexts where students may struggle to afford textbooks and required reading materials. Now let's move on to the seventh challenge phase of popular literature, which is overly academic language. So the paragraph below critiques the tendency of some literary critics to prioritize complex language over clarity and accessibility. It calls for a more reader-friendly approach that focuses on education and engagement rather than condescension and obscurity. Here are some key aspects why overly academic language became a challenge phase of popular literature. First is accessibility issue. While academic writing serves the important function of conveying complex ideas and specialized knowledge, its reliance on intricate vocabulary and sentence structures can alienate general readers. For example, the teacher uses a term that have specific meanings in a particular field may not be easily understood by her students. This can lead to confusion and disengagement as the students may struggle to grasp the intended message. Second is communication breakdown. This happens because readers often interpret terms based on their contextual usage rather than their precise definitions. For example, readers encounter terms they do not fully grasp. They may misinterpret the author's intent or the narrative's message. This can lead to disconnect between the author's purpose and the reader's interpretation, ultimately affecting the overall impact of the literature. The third one is perceived elitism. It can indeed create a barrier between academics and the general public. This can lead to a sense of elitism within academic circles because those who can understand the language are part of the in-group, while those who don't understand is excluded. It is really important for academics to strive for clarity and accessibility in the communication to ensure they are understood and appreciated by a wider audiences. Fourth and the last one is the challenge of simplicity. It is indeed easy to be complex and harder to be simple because it takes effort to choose the right words and structure sentences clearly. Simplifying ideas involves distilling them down to their essence, which requires a deep understanding of the subject. If you can explain the meaning of the word correctly, it will show that you truly grasp the concept. This is often harder because you are forced to eliminate the unnecessary details and focus to what really matters.
The death of aesthetics in popular literature means that it is less focused on beauty, art, and deeper meaning. This happens because with the rise of popular literature, books are often made to entertain large audiences. They care about how the people will like it, will it fit their taste, will it sell, so it has now become a commercial success. Literature is now measured by how well the book performed financially, not by its literary quality or artistic value. And since it is focused to entertain the audience, the language may be simpler, the themes less challenging, and the focus more on instant appeal rather than lasting beauty or insight. As a result, readers might miss out on stories that make them think deeply or appreciate the beauty of language. This can limit people's ability to grow intellectually and culturally, as literature becomes more about following market trends and less about experiencing art. It's more about what sells than what inspires and what's beautiful. Now, this example, which is presented on the screen, refers to Joshua Bell, who is a renowned violinist who conducted a social experiment which is called Stop and Hear the Music to see if the people do appreciate the music. So he plays a certain piece in a metro station wherein he is not receiving much attention from the passerby. They may have appreciated the music, Joshua Bell's playing, however, since they are rushing and were so caught up in their busy life, they forget to pause and enjoy the music or the art. So the decline of aesthetics is seen as a symptom of a society that values function over beauty, leading to a potential cultural decline where art no longer holds the same importance in daily life. Thus, proves that the extraordinary in an ordinary environment does not shine or is often overlooked and undervalued. There are some key aspects of these challenges. First one is cultural and political shifts. In the 1990s, people started to question the traditional idea of classic literature, which mostly focused on Western privilege perspectives. Critics pointed out that these books often left out important voices like women and people of color. This led to a shift toward recognizing a wider range of stories as valuable, not just those considered artistically beautiful, but also those that include more diverse perspectives and experiences. The second one is the role of aesthetics in literature. So, aesthetics in literature refers to the beauty or artistic quality of a story or poem. It's about how words are used to create images, feelings, and experiences in the reader's mind. This has always been important in literature because it helps make stories more powerful and enjoyable. However, in popular literature today, some people worry that the focus on aesthetics is fading. So instead of creating beautiful, deep works, many popular books are written quickly to entertain without much thought to their artistic quality. This challenge is sometimes called the death of aesthetics in popular literature. Third one, the impact of modernism and postmodernism. Modernism and postmodernism have deeply shaped literature by challenging traditional ideas of beauty and artistic standards. These movements, while innovative, also contributed to a shift away from the idea of literature as a form of beautiful, cohesive art. In popular literature, this has sometimes led to less focus on carefully crafted aesthetics and more on creating stories that entertain or provoke thought without concern for traditional artistic beauty. This shift is part of the challenge often referred to as the death of aesthetics. Fourth, the aesthetic experience in literature is about the emotional and intellectual response a reader has when engaging with a beautifully crafted story or poem. Traditionally, this experience was seen as crucial for making literature more meaningful, connecting readers to the deeper layers of the text through its beauty, style, and artistic expression. However, in today's world, the aesthetic experience is being redefined. Some theorists argue that despite the changes in popular literature, the aesthetic qualities of a work are still essential for truly engaging readers. They believe that a well crafted piece of literature can touch readers emotionally and intellectually in ways that fast, entertainment driven stories might not. This idea emphasizes that even though the focus on beauty and form might be fading in some popular works, the aesthetic experience remains vital for creating deeper, more lasting connections with readers.